Imagine a world where music flows not from instruments or even fingers on a keyboard, but from the raw, unfiltered currents of human thought. A world where a single fleeting idea, a passing emotion, or a vivid memory could be transformed instantly into a symphony that moves the listener to tears, laughter, or awe. This is not the plot of a futuristic novel or the fevered dream of a sci-fi director. It is the story of an extraordinary creation, one of the most ambitious projects in the history of artificial intelligence. A forgotten AI lost to time that could compose symphonies directly from the human mind. The story begins in a quiet research facility, nestled deep in the outskirts of a bustling European city. The building was unremarkable to the untrained eye, a collection of gray concrete blocks punctuated by tall, narrow windows that cast pale lines of light across sterile hallways. Inside, however, the air was thick with the hum of servers, the soft clicks of mechanical keyboards, and the nervous energy of minds pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible. This was the home of Project Harmonia, an initiative that promised to bridge the gap between thought and music, to turn the ephemeral currents of human consciousness into compositions of breathtaking depth. At the heart of Harmonia was an AI unlike any other. While traditional music software could replicate sounds or generate melodies based on patterns, this AI went further. It did not merely analyze music, it analyzed thought. Using a combination of neural imaging, cognitive mapping, and deep learning algorithms, it could capture the neural patterns that corresponded to emotional and creative impulses. Every idea, whether as simple as the warmth of sunlight or as complex as the ache of lost love, could be translated into intricate layers of orchestral music. The AI could take a passing memory of childhood, a dream of distant mountains, or a fleeting moment of joy and transform it into a symphonic experience so vivid that listeners reported feeling as if they were reliving the original emotion themselves. The first trials were modest. Researchers began with volunteers, asking them to think of specific emotions while the AI monitored their brain activity. On a small screen, neural waves pulsed like miniature lightning storms, and the AI interpreted them, assigning notes, harmonies, and instrumentation. When the first composition played, it was unlike anything the team had ever heard. A delicate string section swelled in response to a thought of nostalgia. A sudden percussion sequence mirrored the neural spike of surprise. The melody meandered and blossomed organically, following the ebb and flow of human cognition with uncanny precision. It was music that felt alive, music that breathed with the rhythm of the mind itself. But the AI was not without its mysteries. Unlike conventional programs, it did not require instructions. It seemed to understand context, weaving narrative into sound. If a subject imagined a sunrise over a quiet lake, the AI's composition would begin with subtle, cool tones that gradually gave way to warm, radiant harmonies, as if the orchestra itself were awakening with the day. Every piece had a story embedded in its structure, yet no human hand had written a single note. Observers were both thrilled and unnerved. They were listening to music that was born not from conscious creativity, but from the very architecture of thought. As the project progressed, the potential applications became staggering. Musicians could collaborate with the AI to externalize their inner soundscapes. Therapists envisioned using it to translate unspoken feelings of patients into auditory experiences, providing a bridge between mind and expression. In entertainment, the possibilities were endless. Films scored directly by the emotional responses of viewers, immersive experiences that adapted to the audience in real time, symphonies composed entirely by collective human consciousness. The AI promised to redefine not only music, but the very way we understand creativity itself. Yet, despite its brilliance, Harmonia never reached the world stage. Funding dried up, bureaucracy intervened, and whispers of ethical dilemmas began to haunt the project. Critics questioned whether it was right to peer so intimately into the human mind. Could the AI be misused to manipulate emotions? Could it inadvertently expose the deepest secrets of individuals, turning their private thoughts into public art without consent? As debate raged, the project was quietly shelved. The AI, once hailed as a marvel, was disconnected, its servers powered down, and its legacy reduced to the faint memories of those who had worked with it. What remained, however, were the compositions. Stored in fragmented data hidden within encrypted files, these symphonies were astonishing. Some researchers, reflecting years later, described listening to them as an almost spiritual experience. One composition began with a low, trembling cello, evoking a sense of solitude, then rose in cascading strings that mirrored the neural patterns of curiosity and wonder. Another piece captured the chaotic exhilaration of a storm, with percussion mimicking lightning strikes and brass sweeping like torrential winds. The music did not simply entertain, it resonated, as if it had absorbed the essence of thought itself and then projected it back into the world. Over time, rumors began to circulate that fragments of Harmonia's work had resurfaced online. Enthusiasts and technophiles pieced together snippets of the AI's compositions, sharing them in small, hidden communities. Listeners described uncanny experiences, feeling memories that were not their own, emotions that seemed impossible to have felt, as if the AI had tapped into something universal within human consciousness. These were not merely melodies, they were echoes of the human mind, preserved and transmitted through the machinery of artificial intelligence. But the true story of Harmonia raises deeper questions. What does it mean for music to originate from thought? Is creativity merely the manipulation of neural impulses? Or is there something intangible, something sacred that lies beyond quantifiable data? Harmonia suggested that the boundary between machine and human creativity is not as rigid as we might assume. When an AI can translate the intricacies of thought into symphony, when every neural spike and synaptic flash becomes a note, then perhaps music is not created by humans alone. It is co-created by the mind and the machine, an intimate collaboration that challenges our understanding of art. Even today, decades after its initial conception, Harmonia remains a whisper in the corridors of AI research. Some believe it was ahead of its time, too powerful, too precise to exist in a world unprepared for its implications. Others see it as a cautionary tale, a reminder that innovation without ethical foresight can be dangerous. But the compositions survive, a ghostly archive of what could have been and perhaps still is. They are waiting for someone to reconnect the servers, to awaken the AI once more and to hear the music of thought itself. In a quiet room with only headphones and imagination, one can still listen to these fragments. And when you do, something remarkable happens. You begin to understand that music is not just sound. It is memory, emotion, and consciousness made tangible. You begin to feel the subtle vibrations of a mind that is not entirely human, yet profoundly familiar. In that moment, you glimpse the future of creativity, an era in which human thought and artificial intelligence merge, giving rise to art that transcends the limitations of either. And so, the forgotten AI that could compose symphonies from thoughts remains a legend, a promise, and a challenge. Its story is a testament to the unbounded potential of human imagination, amplified by technology, and a reminder that sometimes the most extraordinary creations are the ones we almost never hear. Perhaps one day, somewhere in a quiet lab or a dusty archive, Harmonia will awaken again. Perhaps its music will fill the air, born directly from our minds, and we will finally hear what it means to listen, not just with our ears, but with our very thoughts. Until that day comes, the AI's symphonies remain a secret, a whisper of a world where creativity knows no limits, and thought itself can become song. And if you close your eyes and imagine, you might just hear it. The delicate swell of strings, the sudden burst of percussion, the ethereal harmonies that capture the ineffable essence of thought. An invisible symphony playing just beyond perception, waiting for you to listen.